Use the raise hand function to indicate you'd like to ask a question. When you are called on for your question, please state your name and affiliation first. Our first question comes from John Werner from the Waco Tribune-Herald. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, John Warner, Waco Tribune-Herald. Coach, what do you see from Baylor's guards, and why are they so hard to defend?
Because they're really good players. Obviously 45, Mitchell can shoot the ball. He can beat his man off the bounce. 12, Butler, great 3-point shooter, great all-around player. Number 10, Flagler did a great job last night. Thought he played excellent all-around game. 31, Teague. I mean, I can go all the way down the line. They're all great shooters. They can beat you off the bounce. They have great spacing. They defend as perimeter players. This is just a really, really difficult team to prepare for.
All right, our next question comes from Bob Holt from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, Eric, how you doing?
Thanks, Bob.
Hey, staying on the subject of Baylor's guards, I know they've forced a ridiculous amount of turnovers in this tournament, and their points off turnovers is pretty crazy in their favor. Well, what have you seen from that, and how concerning is that? I know you have good guards, and you guys have taken good care of the ball for the most part, but how concerning is the way they can turn people over and turn that into points pretty quick?
Yeah, I mean, we just, we've got to try to avoid catastrophic turnovers, meaning live ball turnovers. We've got to get shots on goal. You've got to move the basketball. You can't, you can't have poor shot selection. Because I thought Villanova did a really good job for, the first 28 minutes of the game. And then all of a sudden, Baylor turned up their defensive intensity and started causing turnovers. And so we're going to have to, like I said, avoid, any catastrophic turnovers and try to get shots on goal and take care of the basketball. You put that thing on the deck and they'll swarm to you. They'll leave the strong side corner. They'll attack the ball with multiple people when you try to get in the lane. So it'll be really important for us to have patience and to make the right reads against defensive converges.
All right. Next question comes from Curtis Wilkerson from Hog Sports. Go ahead, Curtis.
Hey, Coach, congratulations again on the win last night. To feed off of some of what you've been talking about, Baylor being difficult to prepare for, how do you come off of an emotional win like you did last night that's so physically and mentally draining and turn the page and prepare on short order for a game like this?
It's a great question, Curtis. I mean, that's just kind of the nature of the tournament. We're not going to have the time to prepare like we had, an ABC and actually went to our D coverage last night against Oral Roberts. We're not going to have that opportunity from a preparation standpoint. We did start our preparation last night when we got back to the hotel, and we were able to eat our team meal together and start having some conversations. And, we've already had a video session at breakfast. There's another one going on right now that I'm not part of, and Devo won't be part of. And Devo and I'll sit down individually and go through what the team's going through right now. And then we get back to the hotel, we'll do another, and our film sessions are really short. They're like 5 to 7 minutes to try to keep our players' attention. And here at Lucas Oil today, we'll be able to walk through some stuff, but obviously with the minutes that guys played, we're not going to be able to defend their actions live, which really changes our preparation. Because sometimes when you go live, you can tinker a little bit, tweak some things, and playing tomorrow, we're not gonna defend the stuff live, which hardly ever happens to us, not defending situations live. So unique way to prepare, but both teams and all the teams that are in the Elite Eight and trying to make a Final Four, everybody's on the same even playing field as far as preparation time.
Next question is from Scotty Bordelon. Go ahead, Scotty.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned last night that Desi gave you a lift on the glass, and he kind of quietly had 4 assists too. Could you maybe expound on his play, his effort, and the attitude that he's had during this run you're on?
Yeah, I mean, Desi gave us a great lift last night. JD We felt like he was struggling and pressing too much. And so, the next man up was Desi, and Desi came in and he played a really solid, team game. He got to the basket, missed a layup, but by him drawing an extra defender off his dribble penetration, it allowed Justin Smith to get an easy putback. So his pressure on the rim off the dribble drive, I thought, helped us, which correlates with his assists. We ran a couple plays for him offensively in an isolation situation. When Adams had 3 fouls and he made the right reads and didn't force things. And, against Baylor, you can't force situations. You've got to be able to read the defense. And, I have no idea what the game will dictate tomorrow, whether, we play with a big lineup or a small lineup, or which guards off the bench will be effective. I think, that's all a feel, and it also depends on the opponent and how they're playing. So, but Desi was really, really good last night, and it's great to have a player with starting experience and has played in so many big games, the last few years at Arkansas, to rely on to come off the bench and provide what he provided for us, against Oral Roberts.
Next question comes from Kendall Cott. Go ahead, Kendall.
Kendall Cowd, ODB. Are there some ways that playing Texas Tech earlier in the tournament gives you help preparing against Baylor's defense, or are they pretty unique?
I mean, I think every team's kind of unique and has their own identity, their own style, but obviously playing, 2 teams from the conference, you get a little bit of a feel. I do think there's some similarities defensively, as far as toughness, as far as the physicality. Both Baylor and Texas Tech are very, very physical defensive teams. They're also 2 very, very well coached defensive teams. So I think there are some similarities, that we can draw on, maybe some mini themes that we can try to share with our team. But again, I think just, every personnel is slightly different, even if schemes have some similarities to each other.
Next question is from Dudley Dawson. Go ahead, Dudley.
Hey, Coach, I had a football recruit this morning talk about the excitement of watching your basketball team play. Is it hard to quantify the exposure and stuff you get here, or can you quantify it?
I don't think you can really, I don't think you can put, like quantify. I think it's just, it takes on a life of its own every time you would, when you make the tournament, it's got a little bit of life, then you advance, it's got more life, and so on and so forth. That, I love hearing that. That's awesome. That a football, recruit or whatever would say that about our basketball team. I know that, with our recruits, the success of our baseball team and the success of Coach Neighbors and the women's team and our track teams, both men and women, those are some of the things that we talk about all the time. When you come to Arkansas, it's a campus of champions. And, when you go into that Jones Center and you walk by a track athlete, that track athlete's probably won a national championship. And you walk into the Jones Center to eat or to study, and you walk by a baseball player, and that baseball player, there's a great chance would be a future first round draft pick or is part of a team that's ranked number 1 in the nation. So, I think that, we all feed off each other, the more success we can have within our department. But I certainly love to hear that about a football player.
And we'll go back to Bob Holt for our final question. Go ahead, Bob.
Eric, I know Baylor didn't shoot threes very well yesterday, but they're hitting at about 40% rate for the season. What do you think about their 3-point shooting and the challenge that presents to you?
I mean, when you watch them yesterday and you look at the numbers and you see what great 3-point percentages they have, and then you watch them beat people off the bounce and attack the rim off the dribble. I mean, that's why this team's 25-2 and one of the best teams in the country, and a team that can win a national championship and has great talent and is really well coached and has incredible guard play, and their bigs really understand their roles. It looks like they have incredible chemistry, and their roles are clearly defined by the coaching staff. So they present a lot of challenges for sure. Obviously, we've got to, we can't give up threes. It's an area that some games we've been great at when we played Alabama at Bud Walton, and then other games that we've stunk at defending the three, like we did against Alabama in Tuscaloosa. So somewhere we gotta guard the three, and you got to guard them off the bounce.
All right. Thank you, Coach, for your time today.
Thank you. Woo Pig.